Hello and welcome back to Universal Law Snippets. Today we are continuing on with the Law of Polarity and we are talking about letting go or detaching from things. So the Law of Polarity in my eyes is all about discernment, and it is about kind of taking a step back from whatever life is throwing at you, whatever situation you are encountering at the moment, and kind of taking a deep breath and deciding where you want to go next. Now, that could be in terms of just your next move, that could be long-term goals or, immediate manifestations in the future or whatever. But this law is in essence about extremes, but like I said before, we don't really have a lot of major extremes in outside of nature. As humans, we very much live on these spectrums of emotions or thoughts. We are conditioned creatures in many, many ways. And so as humans, we have to really kind of step into that idea or concept of surrender or detachment, letting go, because when we are looking at a situation or an option in front of us and we want to go down a path, we kind of have to look at it from our own perspective, and we have to kind of analyze and see, is this direction the direction I want to go? Am I energetically a match to go in this direction? What might possibly be holding me back from moving in this direction? And this comes up in our lives in a lot of different ways. We have almost every single day this opportunity to take in a given situation and let go of any limiting beliefs that might be holding us back to go where we want to go. So I have a very, very recent example, as in this morning. So I'm just going to go ahead and share it with you because this was something that I kind of thought I had let go of in the past couple of years, but it very much came into right in front of my face this morning. So I, as you know, have written a book, and it is going to be published here fairly soon, probably within the next month or so, but definitely by the end of the year. And over the past 3 or 4 years, I have really shed a lot of stuff around being seen out in public. I am now doing these videos and I'm doing podcasts. I am kind of out there a lot. I am putting myself out there in a lot of different ways. And this was something that I was very hesitant to do a couple of years ago. I was holding on to this belief that nobody cares what I say. What I say doesn't matter. I don't really have the capability or knowledge to help anyone. And it's something that I have been shedding over the years. And so I am more comfortable putting myself out there. Except for this weekend when I got a message from my publisher and they're like, great, we're almost done with your book. Can you just send us in, your dedication, your acknowledgments, and a photo of yourself? And I had that freeze back up of oh my gosh, a photo of myself. Now, this is something that I have struggled with probably throughout my entire life. I really don't like having pictures taken of myself. For some reason, I have no problem getting on video and talking about whatever. And I don't know why, but there's something about having staring at a camera that I just have a really hard time taking a good picture. My husband and I have joked many, many, many times over the years, oh, I have that Chandler smile. If you are familiar with Friends, then you know this reference. But I just have a really hard time relaxing and being my most authentic self when I am having my picture taken. It's very strange. And I thought that I had gotten past that, but no, I have not. So my husband and both my boys spent all weekend, and we spent all weekend trying to get a somewhat decent picture of me. And It was a very painful process for me. It brought a whole lot of self-worth and self-love issues up that I thought I had gotten rid of. And so I had a really hard time picking out a picture and sending it in to my publisher today, but I did just do that. And I realized that what a fantastic opportunity to really take a step back and look at this whole situation and try to let go of it so that I can move past it. So when I think of the law of polarity and I think of extremes like, oh my gosh, this is such a great picture versus like, this is the worst picture I've ever taken in my entire life, there is a whole range of spectrum of photos in that spectrum, right? Of like, yes, this is not the greatest picture I've ever taken, but it's also not the worst picture I've ever taken. And so something like this lives on this spectrum, just like everything kind of in life lives on this spectrum. And when we attach ourselves to like every photo I ever take of myself is this terrible, horrible photo, then you can really get into that vibration of, oh my gosh, like it's kind of this worst case scenario situation where we just build it up like, if I take this bad photo and I send this into the publisher, then everybody is going to know what I look like and nobody is going to read my book and yada, 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 right? Like it just kind of sends you down this spiral of self-doubt and shame and terribleness. And I know this cannot just be me. This is not like a feeling that I have by myself. And so I really try to take this opportunity to be like, you know what? It's just a photo in the grand scheme of things. Very few people actually look at photos in an author's book, right? I know I hardly ever do. I would never, ever, ever be able to pick an author from a lineup if I came into contact with them out in the wild. No matter how much I liked the author and no matter how many times I read the book, I would never be able to ever remember their author pick, right? But it's one of those things where I was like, okay, you know what? You've done a lot of work around this. The universe is giving you yet another opportunity to kind of just detach yourself from the outcome of this, to give yourself another opportunity to just kind of let go. Because once we let go of these things, we can kind of clear out that energy and then we can just move on in the vibration that we want to go. Now, that's not always easy, right? This is maybe a silly little thing to be thinking about, but it was a perfect example for what I was feeling today. And it's also like the perfect season to be doing this because it's fall up here in the Northern Hemisphere. The leaves are like letting go of the branches on the trees and things are just kind of taking their natural course. And so this feels like a really good chance for me to like shed this past identity of myself of, you have this Chandler smile, Christy, just let that go. It's okay. It doesn't really, in the grand scheme of things, a photo of you is not going to define you as a person. It's not going to define you as an author. It doesn't define you in any way. And so for me, the law of polarity is also really about, it's a lot about identity work, right? Like I think that identity work is a really important thing to do as we are, going inward and reflecting on everything. And we can so easily shift our perspective of ourselves and switch our identities and everything and kind of take that next route by stepping into that new identity of what we want to become. So the law of polarity is fascinating. And I always think of it when I think of detachment or letting go or even somewhat identity shifting, because it's this great way for us to just pivot just a little bit and take a new direction in our life. So if you are having any of these similar thoughts or feelings, or you're trying to step into a new identity, just maybe look at yourself and see like, what is holding me back? Is this really a part of my identity, or is this just something that my mind is holding on to? And can I let that go and shift in this new direction and look at this new opportunity that the universe is giving me? I think it's a really nice, easy thing to do, and the season is perfect for it right now. So that is what I have for you today for the Universal Law Snippet, the Law of Polarity, and letting go. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.